everyone, my name is Molly, and today I am here to talk to you about all the books I read and acquired in the month of October. Now, last September I did a September combined book haul and wrap-up, which I think worked out really well, so I figured I'd just do it again for this month. I'm gonna start with the haul because there might be books that I bought that I read this month. There aren't. So the first book I picked up was The Witches of East End by Melissa de la Cruz. Now, this was on sale at Barnes & Noble for $4.98, so I bought it. I was actually there. I had all the books that I wanted in my hand. I was just kind of walking around the store waiting for everyone else to get done, and I saw this in the bargain price section, and I've seen the show on Netflix before. I've never actually seen it, but I've seen it around, and I thought it looked pretty interesting. I'm not a witch person, I'm not a big witch fan, but I figured, it sounded kind of interesting. I started it. I got to page 11. I'm just that good. It was okay. I mean, it seems kind of, it seems a little bit older, not as interesting and fast-paced moving as I thought it would be, but I'm gonna try and push through, and we'll see what happens. The next book I picked up on that same Barnes & Noble trip was The Diviners by Libba Bray. I also started this book. It's a huge monster. I was gonna wait, get the nice hardcover edition, and then I saw it, and there was really nothing else I wanted, so I was like, okay, I'll get it. And I mean, if I love it that much, I can always buy it. And I got to page 32. It's fairly interesting. I haven't gotten to the interesting parts yet. We're still kind of building up the story, so I don't know, I can't really judge it yet. I just put it down for some reason because I went to go pick up other books. So I should tell you what this is about. So this book is about a girl who moves to New York to live with her uncle, and it turns out her uncle is involved in this supernatural world, and she gets sucked into it, and it sounds fairly interesting, and I've heard great things. Everyone loves it. Everyone's read it, so I figured it's time for me to. The last book I picked up on that Barnes & Noble shopping trip was The Warrior Heir by Cinda Williams-Chima. I finally picked this up. It's been on my list for a while. I've heard a lot of things about Cinda Williams-Chima, and I decided to finally go for it and get one of her books. If you can't tell, this book is kind of damaged because it spent a little while at the bottom of my backpack. So it kind of got smushed, but that's okay. It's in fairly good condition now. I did start this one too. I started all my books. I didn't start this one. I got a page in. This book is about, I really don't know actually. I believe it's kind of a Throne of Glassy type thing. This kid is thrown into this world, and he's thrown into this competition to be a king's heir or something like that. So then, as some of you know, I went to Comic-Con this month, and it was so fun. I really didn't get that many books. I only got 2 books there, but then I got a bunch of shirts and jewelry and lots of fandom-y things. Lots of posters, so I will do a separate video about that. First book that I got was The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. Now, this is the paperback edition. The 2 books that are out in hardcover, but I went to the Penguin Teen booth, I believe it was, and they were doing this Twitter giveaway. You walked up, you said the last star, and they gave you a Fifth Wave survival kit, and this was in it, and it was nice because I didn't have the paperback edition, and I almost went out and bought the paperback edition when it came out. I actually went to the launch event for the paperback edition, and I got to meet Rick Yancey. It was so fun, but that was a while ago. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So The Fifth Wave, if you don't know, is an amazing kick-ass story about aliens. It's a trilogy. The last book has yet to come out, but I'm waiting. So if you haven't picked up this series, the second book is The Infinite Sea. I highly, highly recommend. And the movie comes out on my birthday, January 15th, 2016. Woo! And the only other book I picked up at Comic-Con was The Shannara Chronicles, The Elfstones of Shannara by Terry Brooks. Now, this is just sitting on the table for free. There really weren't many free books at Comic-Con, but this was one of them, and so many people have talked about it, and it's becoming a series on MTV, so I figured, why not? I'll grab it, and maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. I don't know. This month was also my school's book fair, the Scholastic Book Fair, so I got a few books from there too. I'm disappointed to say that there really weren't many books there that I wanted. I either owned them, or they were Scholastic, so they were too young for me, or they weren't interesting. So it was hard for me to get a few. but I did. So the first book I picked up was Seventh Son, the books 1 and 2 in the Last Apprentice series by Joseph Delaney. This was turned into a movie, and I wanted to see the movie when it came out, but then I didn't. And then they had the book there for like $5, and I was like, I gotta get it. So I got it. I'm not really sure what this is about, but I know it involves an evil witch. And the final book I bought this month is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. This is the first Rick Riordan book that I am actually excited to read. I actually own first and third book in the Percy Jackson series, and I've tried reading The Lightning Thief a few times, and I just can never get into it. But I decided to give Magnus Chase a try because Asgard really interests me. Like, I really like Norse mythology, so I decided I might as well give The Sword of Summer a shot. And it's just beautiful, and I originally wasn't going to buy anything at my book fair, and then my mom was like, okay, we'll buy you one book because we bought your sister a book. So I was like, well, I can't turn down that offer, so I got Magnus Chase. So that concludes all the books I bought this month. Now let's move on to the books I read this month. The first book I picked up was The Martian by Andy Weir, and I finished it. It took me like 3 weeks, but I finished it. I really did not enjoy this. I still have yet to see the movie. I wasn't gonna see it because I had to go to Comic-Con that week, and I had to like save up all my money, and then I just never got around to seeing it when I got back. But I did read the book. I didn't enjoy it that much at all, really. It was too sciencey for me, like too much science, too much math. And if you like that sort of thing, have fun with this. I expected more than I got from this. The next book I picked up this month was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Now you must be looking at me like, what? Are you crazy? You've already read that book, Molly. Well, yes, I have. But I reread the book front to back in like a day because it was actually the day I got home from Comic-Con. The last day, I ended up going to the Shadowhunters panel, and I was talking about the Mortal Instruments like literally the entire day. And so when I came home, I felt the need to reread the book. So I did, and since I read it front to back, I am considering it a book I read this month. I just really love this series. If you haven't picked it up, I don't know what you've been doing with your life. Just go read it. Please, just go read it. And the last book I read in the month of October was actually pretty fitting for the month, and it was The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. Yes, I finally read The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. This was in my top 10 most embarrassing books I haven't read. I will link the video down below if you want to check it out, see how I've done so far. But yes, I finally read Mara Dyer, and I have to say, it was amazing. I didn't expect much from it when I picked it up. I randomly picked it up, really, and I read it in like 2 days. I loved it. It was amazing. And I got so much more than I expected from this book. And sadly, I do not own the last 2 in the series, but I'm going to get them, and I'm going to read them because I need them. It was so awesome, and if you have it on your shelf, I highly recommend picking it up. It's not as confusing as you think it would be. Like, people kept telling me that, and I was like, it's probably confusing. It's not. Like, I read it, and I was like, wow, this is impressive. Like, unless at the end it turns out to be, like, all a giant hallucination, I'm good. This is good. And it was weird, because I really didn't enjoy either of the main characters, but for some reason I just flew by the book, and I loved the actual storyline. It was just the characters that kind of got on my nerves, but that's okay, because it was worth it. So go read it. So, if you guys haven't seen my other video, I did also have a book outlet haul, but I did an unboxing for that video, so I will leave the link down below if you want to go check that one out as well. So there you go, folks, the books I read in the month of October. Now, it's better than I did last month. In September, I only read 1 book. In October, I read 3, and 2 of them were fairly good size. And the other one had lots of math, so it counts, it counts. Just let me know what you guys read in the month of October. How was your Halloween? I had lots of fun with mine. And yeah, that's it, guys. I will see you guys with a new video soon. Bye!